I think has been offered up by people, but is not accurate.
Speaker Pelosi said today, when she was asked about incrementalism, she said when somebody's drowning 90 feet out and you throw them a rope that's 10 feet out and say we're doing this incrementally, that doesn't work. Would you say the White House agrees with that analogy, that incrementalism right now is not what this issue and what this White House is interested in achieving?
I think the President addressed something along these lines yesterday, which was to say that look, many of the protections that we want, and as I talked about relating to the insurance industry, many of those protections can only be afforded, particularly making sure that people aren't discriminated against by their insurance companies relating to the possibility of a pre-existing condition, unless you have a broader coverage. So look, I think that there have been many steps over many years to add different parts of the population to health care and to have accessibility for affordable health care. We've got to go the rest of the way.
David Axelrod told me yesterday after the meeting that the President's going to contemplate, his word, Republican ideas. Look at ideas that were discussed today. There's some he's expressed some interest in exploring. See if these can enhance the proposal he's made and consider the alternatives and move forward. Based on what David told me, what is it that Nancy Ann is doing? Is she going to talk to Republicans? Are you going to bring them over here? Is there going to be some legislative process to incorporate what the President heard and said he's open to into a new proposal that will be visible on the website or someplace else?
Well, look, as I
mandate in here in this White House to take those ideas and do something with them.
Yeah. Well, look, we didn't have the meeting yesterday because cable lacked something to show. We wanted to have an honest discussion about different ideas. As David said, as I've said today, the President's going to look at those ideas and see where they fit in and add to the proposal that he put up on the internet on Monday.
But he's not sure they fit in yet.
Well, I don't have any announcements to make now. I think you heard and saw the President agree on a number of areas yesterday. I don't have anything new to roll out from where I stand at this moment, but I think the President will and the team will work on that through the weekend.
Olympics questions. What degree is the President watching? Does he talk to you about it? Is he engaged in all this? And will you be making any bets if the U.S. makes it to the gold medal game with your Canadian counterpart on that game?
I have already emailed my Canadian counterpart about the possibility of he wanted to know what how double or nothing. He asked me what the translation was for double or nothing up there. So we're still there's a civets on that later. No, I don't. He has been. I know he has been watching. I think a lot at night. Some of us have watched curling during the day. I still don't. Please, somebody email me the rules for. It's fascinating to watch, but I haven't the slightest idea what any of it. Just tell me how. Yeah,
don't know the rules.
I don't disagree. You know, I know on the flight out last week to Denver and then to Las Vegas, he had watched some of the skiing because at that point he knew that Lindsey Vonn had fallen in one of the last skates on that race last week. So I think he's been watching. I think he is, like every other American, is enormously proud of the effort of our athletes, has seen competition in these games and results like we haven't seen before. I think we're all, I don't know if the hockey game chip is going on right now, but I think we're all
6-0 at the end of the first period. U.S.
Well, there you go. I'm feeling better about my double or nothing. No, look, I doubt that anybody that's of the age that isn't watching hockey in 2010 and thinking about hockey in 1980. I think everyone has, both about hockey and about all these other sports, an amazing amount of pride as it relates to that. Yep.
On the Patterson announcement, surely you don't need to check with someone to tell us what the White House reaction to this is.
Well, look, I think that the White House has, I think you all have written on what the White House viewpoint was on Governor Patterson running for re-election. I think, obviously, the reports that we all read about over the past many hours, past couple of days, were disturbing. I have not talked to the president about this. I think it's safe to say, though, that anybody that read these articles believes, at a minimum, he made the right decision about his reelection.
And can I ask you about Desiree? Is today her last day? Has she already left?
No, she will be here for some transition period, but I do not have a final day. Yes, sir.
Two quick questions on health care, Robert. First, this morning I heard an interesting criticism of the president. I wonder if you can respond to it. David Gregory was saying that he felt that the president's ability to engage the opposition was both a strength and a weakness, it being a weakness because the American people prefer, they like a fighter, but they prefer a president who will stand back and achieve. A response to that?
I didn't see I don't know the context of the comments. I think what the American people got a chance to see and what they've seen over the course of his presidency is somebody who is willing to sit down, like yesterday, and listen to people's ideas, to engage lawmakers, and to engage the American people directly in discussions about the problems that we face.
That he's getting too much into the weeds? Is there anything to that?
Well, you know, in fairness, there have been criticisms over even within the past 20 minutes about the president not having been in the weeds enough. So, you know, I think the president felt good about the discussion yesterday and feels good about the prospect of moving forward.
Thank you. And secondly, the president now admits that on health care, the White House fell so much short on transparency. Now I'm wondering if the White House would be willing to go back and rectify that and make available transcripts, tapes, documentation from the meetings that took place in the spring and the summer with the pharmaceutical lobby and the health care.
There are not tapes of meetings, and I think that ended about the mid-'70s. There are not tapes or transcripts of meetings. There's not a stenographer in these in these events. So, yes, sir.
Robert, I have a question on Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Yesterday, Senator Carl Levin told reporters he doesn't know whether there's sufficient support in Congress right now to repeal that law at this time. Considering the president has stated that he's going to work this year with Congress to end Don't Ask, Don't Tell, what is the White House doing to get lawmakers to come on in support of repeal of that effort?
Well, look, what the president has done is work with Secretary Gates, Admiral Mullen, the military, and the Pentagon in setting forward a process for evaluating, studying, and ultimately repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I think you've heard for the first time ever a chairman of the Joint Chiefs discuss the need to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I think that is a very strong starting point for a process that the president believes will end in rightly overturning that law.
But is the White House working directly with lawmakers, though, to get them on board and support?
Well, look, we have I think many have been. We have talked to many about the process for this. We have talked to them prior to making some of these announcements and prior to some of this testimony. Connie.
Thank you. On AIG, is the White House upset? Is the administration in a mood to help bail them out if they are another $8.9 billion in the hole?
Look, I think that obviously an extraordinary amount of assistance was rendered in 2008 to prevent the giant collapse of AIG, which had previously been a somewhat successful insurance company in which somebody had the crazy idea of strapping a hedge fund on top of. First and foremost, I think the president believes that financial reform making its way through Congress has to include strong resolution authority, which would allow us to break the insurance company and the hedge fund, break those two entities apart, and deal with them before they cause